Let's start by reading the question. Smoking cigarettes and exposure to secondhand smoke can cause respiratory system difficulties. How might the body respond to this environment? Okay, now I'm going to read the question a second time, but the second time I read it, I'm going to actually annotate for key pieces that are going to help me find the best answer. Smoking cigarettes and exposure to secondhand smoke can cause respiratory system difficulties. Okay, respiratory system is a scientific word that I recognize, so I know that that's going to help me. Thinking back to Miss Tabin's science class, I remember that the respiratory system is dealing with our lungs. The second part of the question says, how might our body respond to this environment? So our body's response is going to have to do with like the job. Okay, so now looking at this, let's read through my answer choices to see kind of what I need to look for as I read. Answer choice A says the body could not get nutrients from our food. Nutrients from our food. I'm not really sure our lungs do that. So it looks like each of these answer choices is discussing a certain job of the potential respiratory system. So let's focus on what I wrote up here. The respiratory system is my lungs. Thinking back to science class, I know that my lungs take in oxygen and remove carbon dioxide. Okay, so now let's keep going through my answer choices now that I know that each of the answer choices are referring to different jobs. Answer choice A said that it has to deal with nutrients in our food. Well, the lungs, I said, deal with oxygen and removing carbon dioxide. So I don't think that it has to do with nutrients in food. And if I remember correctly, nutrients are made from food in our stomach. So that's probably the digestive system, not the respiratory system. So I'm going to cross out answer choice A. Answer choice B says the body could not transport nutrients and oxygen around our body. All right, so the key piece here is transporting nutrients and oxygen around our body. Well, it does mention oxygen, and I did say oxygen as part of my background knowledge, so I'm not going to circle anything. I'm just going to put a dot next to answer choice B, and I'll leave it, and I'll see if there's a better answer choice. Answer choice C says the body could not bring in oxygen and send out carbon dioxide. Okay, so here it says bringing in oxygen, sending out carbon dioxide. I did in my background knowledge mention both oxygen and carbon dioxide as what my lungs are responsible for doing. So I'm going to put a dot next to answer choice C, and I'll come back to it. Answer choice D says that the body could not make red blood cells. Red blood cells, I'm pretty sure, are made in our blood system, which has to do with the circulatory system in the heart. Respiratory is only dealing with the lungs, not the heart. So I'm going to cross out answer choice D. So I know for a fact that based on my background knowledge, A and D are both wrong. And so I've narrowed it down to answer B or answer C. So let's take a closer look. And I'll look at this question one more time. It's talking about cigarette smoking and what difficulties it might cause to my lungs. I know that my lungs are responsible for taking in oxygen and removing carbon dioxide. So I need to pick the answer choice that is discussing just that. The answer choice that's saying it's going to be hard to take oxygen into my body and remove carbon dioxide. Looking at answer choice B and C, I notice that answer choice B is only talking about the movement of oxygen and nutrients in our body. The lungs don't move oxygen around, they just take it in. So it has to be answer choice C is the best answer because it matches the most of my background knowledge.